Welcome to Lily's Artistic Jewelry Design channel. Right here I am showing you the beads from the curated bead box called Silver Shadow. That is the iris glass bead. That right there is from my own collection. The blue frosted glass crystal. And that is a smaller version with a mirror image on the back. And that is our crackle opaque white glass bead from the curated bead box. Those are the silver spacer bead, silver bead frames. Some connectors that I was gonna use, but we have omitted those. We're gonna be using snowflakes instead. I got those from the TikTok shop. That company is no longer in production. Lobster claw closure, a safety guard, wire guard, and jump rings with the crimp beads. So those jump rings and crimp beads right there. And we have a glass snowflake focal bead. That is what you see on the screens. We have a 7-strand bead buddy wire. I like using 7-strand and 14-strand. My wire cutters. We have some oblong faceted crystal beads. Almost like a periwinkle purple or bluish looking color, but it blends well with the color scheme. Very shiny and reflective. Here I'm showing you all the beads that's on my magic rods from Louisa's channel, Misty Moon. That is a size 10mm bead, or no, it's 8mm inside of a bead frame. Silver spacer bead, the white opaque snowflake, and that we have right there. Starting off, we are looking at the crackle iris glass. Then we have the blue crystal, light blue crystal. Then we have the blue iris speckle spray bead. Then we have the blue crystal with the mirror image. Then it repeats itself on the other rod. Until we get to the focal bead, which is an art glass bead I made in my art glass class. And I have that with some bead caps, silver bead caps, in a size 4mm silver spacer beads. The other spacer beads are 2mm. Pull some wire out. There's a little opening right there in that very tip of that case. And we're going to measure for some wire. I'm going for a 20-inch necklace. Always cut off at least 4 extra inches so you have room. So see, I hit that 20, so I'm gonna go an extra 4 inches down. And we're gonna cut it off right there at the 24-inch mark. Clean cuts. We're going to start off from the smaller end of the rod. I forgot I had to put on the crimper bead first, put on the bead wire. Put it through the opening on that side of the bead wire. Move that out of the way. That way you can see clearly what I'm doing. You don't need those extra beads. Pull it down through the other side of the beading wire. As you see, I end up putting it down the wrong side. So I'm taking it to the other side of the beading wire. With a wire guard. That's what that is, the wire guard. Excuse me. It's the wire guard. And take it down through crimp bead. You want to make sure you line those wires up so each wire is in the channels. Excuse my voice, it still is in the recovery mode. I almost sound like I have a frog in my throat. Crimping wire. See, we got the crimping pliers there, and you want to put it in that back tooth. You always got to make sure the wires are not crossed inside of the crimp bead. Otherwise, you would not have a good closure on there. Some people just crimp it without even realizing that. Always make sure you have those wires separated. If you can get it just right, grab it with that tooth and pull it, and then crimp it. Mine's is being a little fussy. See, I got a little too aggressive. Take two. Hopefully everyone have had a wonderful Christmas with their families. Enjoyed time spending with families. Ate lots of good food. Okay, let's try this thing again. There we go, we got it. Now you see there we go, separating each channel. Then we're gonna put it in the round part, close it, squeeze it together. There you go, you have the taco shape now. Now you want to squeeze it with the very tip of your crimping pliers. Make sure you got it on there nice and secure. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze the ends of the wire guard to make sure I have those wires trapped in there tight. And I'm just rechecking it to make sure I have it on there secure. You can never be too sure. Okay, now we're good to go. So now we can cut the excess little piece of wire off. Some people keep it on there as safety measures, but as long as you're secure in your bead wire being is on there in your crimp bead, you're good to go. And I'm just checking to make sure I'm a very fussy person. No, we're good. Okay, let's start. First, we're going to put on a silver spacer bead. We'll put it on that is the Jasper gemstone bead, style glass bead, silver spacer bead. And that is the iris crackle spray glass bead. Then another spacer bead. Now we have the light blue glass faceted bead on there. Another spacer bead. And we have another blue Jasper style glass bead. That's a very pretty bead. Silver spacer bead. That's that blue iris speckled glass spray painted bead. Silver spacer. That's the blue faceted glass bead with that metallic look on the back of it. That look almost like mirror image. Spacer bead. Jasper style glass bead. Spacer bead. The pattern is just going to repeat itself until we come into the snowflake pressed glass focal bead. Now we have the pressed glass art glass snowflake bead. Spacer bead. That's a 2mm. Now we have the crackle glass frosted bead. That's from the curated bead box Silver Shadow. Now we're coming to the bead frame with the 8mm size iris spray glass bead. That comes from my own stash. Comes from my previous curated bead box. Then we have the oblong faceted glass bead. The spacer bead. Another frosted glass bead. That's crackle. Now we're at the end of that magic rod. And putting the wire through the beading frame, lining it up with the bead hole, bringing it through to the other side. Now that rod is through. I'm through with that rod. Put your stopper back on your rod so you don't lose your stoppers. Her rods can be found in her Etsy shop. I will leave that link in the description box below. And we're going to go over to the other rod, and we're going to start off with the focal bead and put it right there next to the bead with the bead frame. Take the stopper off. We're going to start off with a 4mm size silver spacer bead. The other beads are a 2mm. See, that bead is going to go right there on the other side of that bead frame. So see, now you can see the difference in the bead size. And that's how that string looks right now. Everything looks nice. Put your bead cap on right side up. Or upside down, I should say. Put it on upside down, because the bead is going to rest inside of that bead cap. Make sure you have that wire in that center hole. See how big that hole is? It took a lot of glass to make that bead. We're going to get some small 2mm size silver spacer beads that I have on the upper part of that string. And we're going to put them inside of the focal bead to fill that gap up in that space. That way the wire is not resting on the bead, it's actually resting on the spacer beads. It preserves your wire. So if you ever have like big hole beads, you can always use small spacer beads or buell beads to fill the space. That was a trick I learned in my art glass bead class. My instructor told me to just fill it with some buell beads or some small spacer beads. And that way it'll stabilize the bead. So you shake it down up in there. And I can use about 2 more beads to go down up in there. I'm saying I need 1 more, but I actually need 2. See, I put up 1 more finger, like, okay, I need 1 more. Shake it down in here. See, now we're at the very top of the bead. 4 total beads inside of that big bead to fill that void. Now we're going to put on that bead cap. And actually what I did is I formed the bead cap to the bead. Those are those adjustable bead caps. Another 4mm size spacer bead. And the pattern is going to repeat itself on the other side. are done. We got both sets, both strings done on each side of that focal bead. I'm loosening it up to make sure it's not too tight. That way it has some type of movement. That looks really nice with that focal bead right there, and you can spin those beads to show whatever pattern you want on that bead. It has patterns on both sides. You have snowflake charms up there as connectors. Now we're going to measure for some chain. I need at least 4 inches on each side of that. 4 inches each. So we're measuring at about 7.5. That'll give me the desired length I need on that necklace. So we're at the 4-inch mark. You see me, I have to keep on remeasuring, just to make sure. Cut that off. You can use a piece of wire, or you can use a piece of eye pins to measure for the other side of the chain. Just stick it on there, grab some wire, grab your chain, put it on there, eye pin. Pull it down smooth. Me, I traps mine in the middle of my fingers to see where I need to cut it off at. I don't always get it accurate. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. That's why you want to bring it down real smooth. So see, I see where I need to cut it off at. However, I have to end up cutting it again because I'll be one length too long on the other end. I'm going to remeasure it again. Put it on the eye pin again, or piece it up. Put it on that piece of wire again and just remeasure it to be absolutely sure. And I can see where I'm like one length too long. So we're just gonna cut that off and we'll be good to go. See a small jump ring. Put it onto the chain. We have it onto the chain. Connect your snowflake connector. Close it up. Make sure you got a tight connection right there with your jump ring. Okay, we're gonna put on a bigger jump ring so we can put on the lobster claw closure. Always twist, never pull your jump ring. Then attach it to your chain. Close it up and make sure that jump ring is nice and secure and connected right there. So there I have 2 pieces of chain. Open that jump ring. I'm putting it onto the extender chain. Well, let's put that one on first. Connect it to your snowflake charm or snowflake connector. Close that ring up tight. Now we're going to put on the extender chain. That way it gives your customer an option to make that chain longer if they choose to. Some people like their chain, their necklace a little bit longer. Always give your customer that option to make it longer or shorter. Make it adjustable. And now close that jump ring up. Make sure it has a nice fit. Now put on the small jump ring. We're going to actually put that onto the extender chain. So you have a nice little surprise hanging it down the back of your neck, especially if you have on an open back shirt or open back dress. That'll be pretty hanging down your back, the snowflake. You can always attach another crystal to the end of that snowflake, which will look even prettier. So now we're going to connect the lobster claw to that extender chain so you can see how that extender chain will look if it's hanging down your back. just gonna clean all of that up. And we'll be back for the making of the earrings. I try my best to keep things cleaned up around me. Now we're back. We're gonna make some earrings to match the necklace. So there we have some wire wrap crystals, the same crystals that's in the necklace. Wire wrapped on each end. That was done off camera. Open up that jump ring. Put the crystal on. Close that jump ring up. We're going to take that jump ring off because we don't need it. Unless you're going to put an extra dangle at the end of that snowflake. You can do that also. We're going to cut that little loop off right there because we don't need it. I tried to use that cutter, but that loop is very hard. The charm itself it's really thick. So we're going to have to use the big girl cutters and cut it off. Then come back in and just clean it up with the small cutters. And then later on, you want to use a file to file that down smooth so it don't cut anyone or scratch anyone. We're going to do the other earring. Actually, that's the same. We're just going to put on the ear wires, put on the jump ring. Put the ear wire on. I always want to make sure it's going the right way. Then pinch that close. There we have it. Snowflake and crystal earring that matches the necklace. Let's do the other one. Once again, we got to use the big girl cutters. First, we're going to put on our crystal. Get a jump ring. So we can put on there. The ear wire on. We're just repeating the same steps we did with the first earring. Make sure you pinch it close so it don't come off the ear wire. Once again, cut that extra loop off. We don't need it unless you're going to hang something from it. And always make sure you come back in and smooth it down with a file. We have the complete set now. Earrings and necklace, snowflake set. Perfect color scheme for the winter. Finished set. That looks really beautiful. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone, like it, subscribe to the channel.